big SEC guys. And Joe, we've got what I would call a little SEC week, just 5 games. So this should be
It is a
a
little
quick
SEC
preview
week.
episode.
I think I think this is probably isn't this the last really week?
That's it, folks. This will be a quick episode. This is the last week where it's a small
Where it's
SEC lineup with a
yeah,
lot of
where
buys this week, ladies
a
and
lot of
gentlemen.
buys. Yep.
Big bye week, week 6. Everybody knows that. Week 6 is a big bye week. Let's
Mhm.
dive right in, folks. We're gonna talk, we'll talk about all 5 games. We'll probably do that pretty quickly, and then we're gonna do a little us versus the AI, everybody's favorite segment, and then we are, new Vegas Heisman odds released this morning, Joe, and they are juicy. Man, they're juicy. Wow. Can't wait to share that with you listeners. I'm gonna run you through the Heisman odds, who we like, who's real, who's fake. Should be a good short little episode. Joe, let's do it. You wanna dive in?
Yeah, let's start time-wise. Work
You
your
know
way
what
from
I do,
noon
folks.
down.
I like to do the time. So the noon game, Kentucky, Georgia. Joe, this one's a pretty simple one for me. I've got Georgia rolling here. Um, Bounce back game for Georgia. It's in Athens. Kirby is going to be unhappy um, after losing to Alabama. The spread's already up to like 21. I would still take Georgia and give the points. I think this could be a runaway game for Georgia where, next week we might say breaking news. No more Mark Stoops. So I'll give you a couple things to look out for, folks. Kentucky's quarterback Cutter Boley is a redshirt freshman, and they're sticking with him. A lot of growing pains there. He looked really bad last week against South Carolina. I imagine Georgia's defense is going to give Kentucky fits. They had a hard time blocking South Carolina's D line, so they're going to have a really hard time blocking Georgia's D line. And then for Georgia, just for the gamblers out there, right? Chauncey Bowen's anytime touchdown, if somebody's gonna offer you a blank check, go ahead and take the money and say thank you very much for the blank check. He's getting more and more carries. Nate Frazier reportedly is in the doghouse at Georgia, so it's gonna be the Bowen show at running back, and, Kentucky gives up a lot of touchdowns to the run. So that's my, they're my key takeaways, Joe. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words in my notes for this.
Love it.
Poor Kentucky, comma, expect demons to be unleashed.
Love it. Good grammar. That's the kinda grammar you get at an elite Savannah private school, Joe.
Well, commas always go where you take a breath, comma.
Yeah, taking a breath. Speaking of that, wit was bitten today.
One of the
That's
big
neither here nor
SEC
there.
gals, my wife hates it when I say that.
Yeah, fun fact, the big SEC gals, my wife is the head of classroom at our daycare, and Joe's wife is the head of the heads of classroom, so we've got some daycare royalty we're married to.
Oh,
That's
goodness.
impressive. Alright, you wanna keep it moving? Love it.
Yeah, yeah, let's go. Let's
Um,
do,
this is the
Texas,
second
Florida,
most
then we'll
fun
do
one.
Bama,
Exactly
Bama,
right, yep.
Vandy.
We're
Yeah.
going to time, yep. So, the next one's Texas, Florida. It's at Florida in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. Yeah, Joe, why don't you start on this one? I've got several thoughts, but I'd love to hear yours to start.
This is gonna go one of 2 ways. Florida's gonna win or they're gonna get blown out. I, uh
Completely agree.
we're gonna find out if Billy's gonna keep his job.
Yeah,
I this team is a much better team than how they're playing. Their defense, it's a shame that their defense is getting wasted by the poor quarterback play and offensive play calling so far.
yeah,
But I'm gonna stick to my guns, man. So far, when I called games in the offseason, I had been pretty accurate so far, and this was one of the ones that I circled and felt the most confident about, is I had Florida did not forget about going down to Austin last year and getting the score run up on them and embarrassed when they were playing a 3rd string quarterback and had no shot at winning, and Texas was still throwing touchdown passes late into the 3rd, well in the 4th quarter, and running the score up. If this team has any fight in them, any desire to play for Billy Napier, after coming off this bye week, I think they're
now's
gonna
the
show up in
time.
a rowdy atmosphere in the swamp, and I think they're gonna put it on Texas. I really do. I think this defensive line is gonna be all in Arch's face all night. Texas can't run the football. They really don't have playmakers on the outside, and I think if Florida will just not turn the ball over and will commit to running the football, I think Florida's gonna win in a game that is nowhere near as close as what the final score is gonna say.
Yeah. We're on the exact same page. There are 2 doors for me. There's door number 1. Florida gets DJ Lagway throws a bunch of interceptions. Florida turns it over. Texas takes advantage. Billy Napier fired. That's door number 1, and
That's door
that's
number
very
1.
likely,
Yep.
folks. And then
Mhm.
door number 2 for me is Florida just beats them in an absolute slugfest. These are 2 bad offenses and 2 good defenses. You've probably seen the over-unders dropped all the way down to 40. So, I mean, Vegas doesn't think this is gonna be a lot of fireworks. I'm interested, not to be
Which
like a, "Oh."
who does that play into, Daniel? Who does that
I
play
I
into?
I think it favors Florida, definitely.
The team that
Yeah,
will run the football, and I think Florida has a
they
much
can
better
run it.
running back,
Yeah,
a
Bow.
much better offensive line than Texas does.
Yeah, I mean, I like Florida's offensive line and defense, and I like the running back Bow, I think he's good, so Florida's got a little juice. Can DJ Lagway get it right? I don't know if he can, he's looked pretty awful, but,
And are they
to
gonna
the
quit? They may pull an Arkansas on us, disappointingly, pull
yeah,
an Arkansas
yeah,
on us.
yeah, they may quit, and then it's goodbye Billy Napier,
But I
and
mean,
I'm
I was all over this in the off season when all of our preseason work. I'm not gonna abandon my guns here. Florida's gonna win this game.
Yeah, yeah, you've had Florida winning this game. You haven't wavered. You've been loyal. The Florida fans that have listened, Joe has not wavered.
Yes.
He has
Yes.
not second guessed himself. He's committed to you. So, like and subscribe, Florida fans. Commit
That's
to us.
right. Like and subscribe.
We haven't wavered, so you shouldn't waver. And Joe, my question is like, this is a good Florida defense. Arch Manning does not look very good. Let's see how he does. This is another test for Arch, and he hasn't really passed any of the tests so far, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Mhm. Mhm.
All right, Joe, let's hear it. Well,
Bama Vandy,
I'll start with this one, and then you can go. I'll
go
be
ahead.
quick.
Go ahead, start.
Vanderbilt, Bama. Joe's told you this all season long. Vanderbilt, they run a unique offense that should work against a defense like Alabama runs, and Joe can get more into that, but I'm a believer in this Vanderbilt team. I think Diego Pavia is really good. I think this offense is a whole lot of fun. I think the defense is tough. Clark Lee's going to have these guys ready to play. They're undefeated. There's so many good things that could happen if they win this game. So they're going to be fired up for this game. I mean, they win here. Diego Pavia goes to number 1 in the Heisman watch, so he's going to be fired up. Clark Lee is going to have these guys amped. Um, I do think Alabama's actually pretty good, upon reflection, but I think Vanderbilt's good. The line's trending, down, which is interesting. Um, and I think I like Vanderbilt in the points here, Joe. I hate to say it, but I there's something about this Vanderbilt team. That's what I'll say. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. You're our resident Alabama expert.
Yeah, the line opened at what, 13.5. It's at 10.5
It's
now.
already down to ten and
Um,
a half. Yeah.
yeah. The splits that I saw today, now granted, we're filming this, folks, it's Wednesday night. It's still very early in the week. The splits are, volume bets came in on Vandy, but again, same thing we were kinda talking about last week with Georgia. The larger money is on Bama. It's not
The
as
whales.
skewed it's
Yeah.
not as skewed as it was last week with Bama, Georgia, but it is, I think it was like 68% of the money with 70% of the bets. 68% of the money was on Bama, but 70% of the bets was on Vandy. So, I don't know. Some of that, sometimes it looks, last week was a weird week in Vegas because every line looked weird, and what did we end up getting? We ended up getting 4 teams in the top 10 losing and not covering,
Yeah.
and and so
Vegas
sometimes
cleared the
Vegas
table.
makes it like, if Vegas is saying it, you need to listen. I don't know. I don't know if that's what's going on now, but it absolutely, we brought attention to it last week in the preview on multiple lines, and look what played out. Um, I'm gonna talk about the mismatch on the defense, like the schematic issues we have first. quick recap of last year's game, and then I'm gonna give several I like to give stat comparisons and things that listeners can keep up with during the game to watch the week. So, real quick, schematically, this is the kinda offense that is a matchup night for Alabama because we play loose, we play fast, aggressive, and we are willing to sacrifice some of our gap integrity, containment integrity to try to generate negative plays, and turnovers. So, what happens is you get an offense like Vanderbilt, a lot of pre-snap motion, a lot of eye candy. It's the same deal we ran into last year with them, ran into it with Oklahoma last year, and then obviously Florida State did the exact same thing to us. A lot of counter, a lot of misdirection, trying to get our eyes looking at the wrong thing and our feet moving the wrong way or planting still and beat us to the ankles. So it's a difficult matchup. Um, Last year, everybody wants to talk about, uh, you know, the time of possession told the tale of the game. If you look at 2 stats from last year, it was turnovers, time of possession. Bama lost by 5, they turned the ball over, and one was a pick six, the other was a sack fumble as Bama was going in to score and take the lead, I think at the beginning of the 4th quarter. Maybe it was the end of the 3rd, at the beginning of the 4th, somewhere later in the game, though. Um, and I think Vanderbilt actually went down and scored again to stretch it to a two-score game we could never get back. But we went from going in to score to go up and trade back and forth to now going down in an eventual score we just couldn't catch up with. So you're looking at 14 points off of 2 turnovers. Vanderbilt held the ball for it was 40 what did I write it down? It was 42 minutes and 8 seconds of the game. So normally when you think about that, you're like, "Oh my gosh, they must have ran the ball all over them." We only gave up like 155 yards rushing. They only averaged 3.1 yards per carry. They did a great job of staying ahead of the sticks and converting on 3rd downs. They were 12 of 18 on 3rd downs. Diego Pavia only threw the ball 20 times, 16 for 20. So it wasn't the running game that we had the problem with. It was 3rd down conversions and Diego Pavia converting on those 3rd downs with his passing. And then, of course, you had the 4th and 1 where he threw the bomb for the touchdown. So, when you look back at last year, it was a storm of things that happened. Vanderbilt being very well prepared, playing very well, Alabama miscues, and then our inability to get off the field on 3rd down. So, when I look at this game this year, uh, I see a much better executing Vanderbilt offense, 100%. Defense, a little suspect. That South Carolina game was pretty much tied and fairly even before Sellers went out. They gave up 30 last week to Utah State. Utah State, tough to tell. They were down 14 at halftime maybe or in the first into the 1st quarter against Virginia Tech. This was pre-firing of their coach, and now Virginia Tech all of a sudden has a pulse. But I would argue that this Virginia Tech team that they played was not playing at the same level. Um, I don't really know what to make of their defense, but their offense, you cannot deny, is it's firing on all cylinders. Pavia is executing better. He's more accurate, better decision making. So, so there's improvement there. I will say that this year's Alabama team is improved over last year's because they're able to drive the ball down the field and are not so boom bust oriented, which is where they got into trouble last year. A lot of 3 and outs or a lot of 2 play, 3 play scoring drives. Um, so I say all that to say I think I outlined that kind of pretty good. What we have to watch if you're watching at home, casual viewer, pull up your ESPN app, follow along with these stats. This is what I want you to watch. Turnover battle. If the turnover battle's even, favors Alabama. If Vanderbilt loses the turnover battle, big time favors Alabama. Um, Time of possession battle. If Vanderbilt holds it for 42 minutes again this year, it is going to be a nail biter of a game and not good for Alabama. If it's more even to slightly Vanderbilt slightly with an advantage, that's another good sign for Alabama. 3rd down conversions for both teams is what you want to look at. Alabama was lights out last week on 3rd down conversions. Or it's going to be more important for Alabama. I think we're going to score and get ours, just for the type of athletes we have on our team at skill positions. But if we're scoring in 2, 3 plays and giving them the ball back and they're possessing it for 7, 8-minute drives that end in touchdowns, that's a real issue. That's a real issue for us. So is Alabama able to take the ball down the field, eat up clock on their own, and try to keep Vanderbilt out of rhythm by keeping them on the sidelines? And whether we do that the same way we did against Georgia via passing and having an acceptable run game, but not a great one game, or maybe does the run game come alive? I was actually just watching the Hey Coach show, and DeBoer was actually talking about how pleased he was with the run game. He said we were right there. It just was a superior athletic team in Georgia that were able to close the gaps, but the gaps were made appropriately. So I thought that was interesting. And last, is going to be, Bama's commitment to the run and their success doing it. Kinda just touched on that, but they, while we weren't averaging a lot per carry and we didn't go for the big rushing yards, I think it was 117 or something like that last week, we still ran it 30 something times, I believe. So we did not abandon it. We still made them respect it. I think that's gonna be crucial, especially if Vanderbilt gets that opening kick, goes down and scores, and we're playing from behind again. Got to stay committed and not let the chains get away from us and the possessions get away from us. So, those are your keys: turnovers, time of possession, third down conversions, and Bama's commitment to the run game, even if it's not we're running wild everywhere. You got to keep Vanderbilt honest, and keep the ball out of their hands. So, there you go. That's how I like it. I actually like Bama to cover, provided we don't turn over. I just think it's a little bit different mentality this year, but boy, have I been proven wrong. I told you they'd suck me right back. They sucked me right back in, you know?
That well deserved. Beating Georgia in Athens, that's a good way to
Well,
get you back in.
the worst part of it though, Daniel, is they sucked me in way before. I was sucked
I
back
know,
in
yeah.
at kickoff of a ULM game. I'm glutton for punishment over here. So anyhow, that's
Well,
it. That's my notes on Bama.
like,
Vandy, let's keep it moving.
let's keep it rolling. The next one's gonna be about 10 seconds for me, so it's Oklahoma versus Kent State. Oklahoma's gonna win this game by a lot of points, but the question here, folks, is how's Michael Hawkins gonna look? So, we saw a little bit of Michael Hawkins last year as a true freshman. He looked really bad. He was not good. He was a turnover machine. He liked
Didn't
to
he get
throw.
his first start against South Carolina and just
Yes, he did. So he got his first start against South Carolina, folks. Possession number 1, he fumbles, we scoop and score. Possession number 2, pick 6. Possession number 3, pick 6. So we were up 21 nothing with 3 defensive touchdowns, which is maybe the first time ever in college football that's happened. And then they took him out and put our guy Jackson Arnold. He's back. They put Jackson Arnold back in, who then also threw a pick 6. So yeah, we've seen Michael Hawkins as a true freshman, and guys, it's hard in the SEC as a true freshman quarterback. No one is really successful at that. It's just extremely difficult. So he's had some time to learn, sitting behind John Mateer this year, but he's going to be the guy the next 2 or 3 games. Like let's see how he does. And this is a good warm up game, right? They're going to kill Kent State, so
their
let's ease
defense
them
is
in.
too good. Their defensive front is too good. They're in no danger. Oklahoma fans, relax. You're in no danger of losing this game. There's
No,
not
they
gonna be
would win
some
with
crazy surprise here.
Joe.
But
I say this with all sincerity that they would win with me at quarterback against
yeah,
Kent State.
as long
Yeah,
as you
me
can
or you.
handle the snap and hand it off, eventually one would bust and you'd win the game.
100%. Yeah, put me in the shotgun. I can catch a
Yeah.
catch a snap in the shotgun.
No, seriously. So, yeah, I'm very interested to see, I mean, I'm gonna watch the State A&M game at night, but I am interested to see, just periodically check in to see how a materialist Oklahoma looks,
Yeah,
because they're gonna, you know, I he's not playing against Texas. So, what are we looking at for next week?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Alright.
well said. Alright, folks, last and final game, Mississippi State, our Bulldogs going in to Kyle Field. I laugh because I think about the 12th man. I think that stuff is so silly, to play Texas A&M. Texas A&M now
Like,
number
here
6
we
in
go.
the
We gotta
country.
do our yell chants.
What do you always do? The thumbs up.
Gig
That
'em.
one makes
Gig 'em,
that one makes
Ags.
me laugh every time, the big thumbs up. Texas A&M's all the way up to number 6, Joe, and I do think Texas A&M's good. We've said this 1,000 times. We love Mike Elko. The spread is all the way up to, like, 14.5 and going up. This is gonna be a close game, folks. This is gonna be 2 teams who wanna ground and pound. If you like running the football,
Yeah, this is gonna be a fun one to watch.
tune in at 7:30 to watch them. This is 2 teams who are playing power football running the ball. Mm,
Yeah, I'll say this, 16 points isn't gonna get it done for A&M.
no,
They're
no.
gonna have to score more. I just don't know how much man, that's an emotional loss last week for State. Nobody
Yeah.
gave them a chance. They took Tennessee down to the wire, really, really had a shot to win it. They
Took 'em
really
past the
did.
wire, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, I just how much is left in the tank? Can they get them up? That's a tough place to go play. Kyle Field's gonna be rocking at night. I think the A&M people are probably starting to believe a little bit.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
yeah.
they're probably starting to believe. They're looking at their schedule and thinking, LSU really isn't that good. Um, they don't have Oklahoma this year. Um, so they don't have Bama this year. They're probably sitting there looking South Carolina and playing as good as they were last year. They're probably sitting here looking at that schedule and thinking, this is a team that should be in Atlanta. And I'm looking at the schedule thinking the same thing. This is a team, not to say that they aren't a great football team, but the schedule is probably going to make them better than they might be.
Schedule is favorable,
Jury's still
absolutely.
out. Yeah, jury's still out. They could be world beaters, but jury's still out if their schedule's gonna make them look a little bit better than they actually are. Um, so I fully expect A&M to be one of those teams in Atlanta.
Yeah, me too.
But you
Yeah.
don't get to Atlanta if you lose to State at home.
No, no, this is gonna be a close game. If I'm Texas A&M, I am afraid. I'm afraid of this Mississippi State team. I'm afraid of Fluff Bothwell and Davon Booth. Those guys are dogs.
Mhm.
They're gonna run it, and yeah, that Texas A&M defense has been a little hit or miss, Joe, and then the offense didn't look great last week, so it's like, what are we
Yeah,
I
they're
don't
gonna
think we
have
quite
to
know what we have yet.
that we don't quite know what they have, but they're gonna have to establish the line of scrimmage. It's time
Yeah,
A&M's offensive line is gonna have to take over the game, and then the defense I honestly, I think this game really turns down to what does Mississippi State have in the tank? Do they have another this quick on a turnaround? Do they have another effort like the one they gave at home last week? Because if they do, this game is gonna be really interesting. If
yeah.
they don't, then I expect A&M to probably win the way they've won all year, pretty sloppy, controlling the ball, electric players on the outside making a play or 2, something like that.
It's rare this happens, but I've got that kinda gut feeling Mississippi State comes away with this one.
Buddy, if
Um,
they do, then go ahead and write Jeff Lebby in coach of the year in the
yeah,
SEC, and also,
seriously.
we all need to start talking about because I don't think Mississippi State schedule that I mean, playing Georgia, that's not gonna be a cakewalk for Georgia. I mean, you
No,
start looking at that schedule, maybe Mississippi State's gonna make some noise.
yeah.
This would be a very impressive win. I don't think they're gonna win. This would be very impressive if they
If they win, you'll see me at home. "Alexa, purchase cowbell, 2-day shipping, please."
seriously, seriously,
That would
big
be
time.
great.
Also, I won't be very thrilled about this new permanent opponent that we all of a sudden have
Oh my
that's
gosh.
probably
Jeff
that
Lebby
might be
creating a
better than all
monster.
yeah,
Yeah.
it would be not good for the old Alabama Crimson Tide, so
So funny how that works. Like South Carolina, you get Kentucky as a permanent opponent, and then somehow they hire Nick Saban. You're like, "Oh, no. This all of a sudden looks kinda weird. I don't like that."
first
Alright,
SEC
folks.
championship since Coach Bryant,
I know. Gosh. Alright, folks. Big
um,
SEC guys versus the AI. We're doing all 5 SEC games this week, playing the AI. Joe, I'll take the first one. Georgia, Kentucky. Let's take Georgia given the points. Um,
alright,
the AI's split. ChatGPT likes Georgia, Grok likes Kentucky. We know Grok's totally useless.
yeah.
The next
Elon,
one,
your AI, I would have bet anything that you would have had this better shape, man. Thought you were a real ball knower, Elon. Guess
yeah,
not.
I did. I test drove a Tesla today, and I'm regretting that with Elon's lack of ball knowledge. Might have to
Uh,
reconsider. Might have to reconsider. Texas, Florida. We like Florida in this one, Joe. Florida
yeah,
plus six and a
Florida.
half.
Yep,
That both
Florida.
AIs like Texas, but the AIs love Arch Manning just because he gets so many hits. The AI likes clicks. Alabama, Vandy, Joe. We can argue all day about this one, but let's go with Alabama. Your leans Alabama. You were right. You were right last week with Georgia, and I said let's go with Georgia. So we're giving you Alabama minus
Let's
10 and a
let's
half.
not jinx. I was gonna say let's go with you so we don't jinx it and have us
Oh boy.
lose. You know?
Both AIs like Vanderbilt, which is interesting.
Do they really? Well,
Yeah.
then let's go Alabama just to give us a point if we
Yeah. Contrarian.
'cause we're getting
Uh,
it at 10.5. I mean, I don't know. 10 it would stink to win. I mean, it would really stink to lose, but it would
yeah.
kinda stink not to win the game pretty handily by 10 and then not cover. We're not
Uh,
buying down here, folks. We're not buying a point half a
no,
point.
we're just playing the SEC. Oklahoma minus 45 and a half. Both AIs like Oklahoma, which makes me want to take Kent State. Michael
Yeah.
Hawkins growing pains getting 45 and a half points. I kind of like that, right?
They were off this past week, weren't they?
Yeah, but still 45 and a half points and you're breaking in a new quarterback who hasn't looked good. Kent State's
I'm fine.
bad.
I'm not good at the spread. You know I'm not
Yeah.
good at it.
That's a good number by Vegas, 45 and a half. That's a juicy number. And then finally, Mississippi State, Texas A&M. Let's take Mississippi State in the points here, getting 15 points at the current moment. It's a lot of points.
That's fair enough.
That line's
In a
gone
in
up
what's
though.
probably going to be a shortened game.
Started at 12 and a half. It's all the way up to 15. I don't know what's going on
Really?
there. Yeah, interesting.
Interesting. It's probably this game, I kinda like giving the point or taking the points with State because I think both teams wanna run the ball,
Oh
and
my god.
we're gonna have a clock that's moving, not a
This
lot
is
of
gonna be like the 99-minute college football game when both teams run it. The game's just over
yeah,
so
seriously,
fast.
seriously, not there's not gonna be a lot of opportunity to really pull away unless
Yeah.
there's a bunch of turnovers.
Oh, yeah. It's so funny, folks. You'll watch some of these college football teams, 2 teams that, like, throw it and go slow, and those games will take forever. You
Yeah.
know, they'll eat into the next game's schedule.
Saturday night in Athens, it went forever.
Yeah, like, that's a game that takes forever, and then you'll have games like this coming up where both teams wanna run it 40, 50, 60 times. In this game, you're like, "W it feels like it should be halftime," and it's deep into the 4th quarter because the clock's just moving, moving, moving.
This football our
That's
parents grew up on, man.
man,
No a very few TV timeouts. They
take us
used to do
back.
radio spot ads. I remember
Take us
listening
take
to
us
the
back.
radio growing
Oh,
up, and it
yeah.
would be like when there was no, like listeners that are younger than, probably 30, probably 25, don't realize that every game wasn't always on TV. And
Oh my
there would
gosh, you
be
have to look on the radio.
maybe 1 regional game and then 1 national game in the SEC every week. And, other than that, you had to listen to your team on the radio, and when there was no TV coverage, you were listening to them on the radio, it would be basically they were trying to find times to do spot ads in between plays.
Oh, yeah.
Um, uh,
Joe, I'll give you a
I
good
remember many a dove shoot growing up, being in the dove field, and 1 or 2 trucks would park on either side of the field, windows down, radio all the way up, listening to Larry Munson.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
Larry Munson, voice of the dogs, baby. Joe, I'll give you a quick good story there. So, South Carolina in, I think it was 98, 99. I was 8 years old, 9 years old. They lost, they lost 22 straight. They went 0-11, 0-11. Things were not good. But then, we got Lou Holtz, and Lou Holtz was like, "I'm gonna turn things around." And our first game, I think it was against New Mexico State. And I remember me and my dad, I think we were in Amelia Island or maybe Sea Island. We were on, like, a little beach vacation, and, we were listening, and South Carolina just beat the brakes off of New Mexico. I think it was New Mexico or New Mexico State. They just beat the brakes off them, and we were pumped listening on the radio. We were amped because that obviously, that game wasn't on TV. It was, like, one of the worst teams in South Carolina versus another one of the worst teams, so that was a classic.
Fun fact about that, the next week, they went to Athens and beat Georgia in Lou Holtz's first year, and I was there
Yeah,
for that game. Everybody was very shocked.
that Lou Holtz, that man knew what he was doing. Alright, Joe, let's finish with a little Poppy's Heisman update, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
The Heisman odds released this morning, the updated ones with a couple of the Vegas casinos, and I just didn't realize how many SEC quarterbacks were gonna be in it. It's pretty wild. So, number 10, Bo Pribula from Missouri. He's looked awesome. I bet Penn State's wishing they had him instead of Drew Aller. He's looked really cool. Number 9, and this is injury, so this kinda stinks. John Mateer and is tied at number 9 with Garrett Nussmeier. Garrett Nussmeier's been a disappointment to me, so I'm even surprised to see him in here. If Mateer's not hurt, he's probably number 1 or number 2. Next, this is where things start to get really juicy. Then we jump down all the way to 7, and this I don't understand this. So at 7, it's Gunnar Stockton tied with Arch Manning. What has Arch Manning done to be on here? Absolutely nothing.
Wish there was a way you could short him.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like, let's short that Arch Manning at number 7. That's totally Vegas just trying to get money. Like, people
Yeah,
are gonna see Arch Manning and be like, "Oh, I'll bet on him." He shouldn't be in the top 10. I think that's ridiculous. Gunnar Stockton has looked good, so I'm fine with that. Now we jump up. Number 5, there are 3 players tied at number 5. Marcel Reed, Diego Pavia, so he's finally made an appearance. It's about time. And then our guy, Trinidad Chambliss. I thought that was really interesting. So
that is.
three SEC quarterbacks tied at 5. If you wanna buy stock in somebody, I like stock in Marcel Reed and Diego Pavia right now. I think Trinidad Chambliss is tough because you got, like, Austin Simmons, and that's gonna get weird. Um, and then going all the way down to number 3, Joe, the Theismann, Ty Simpson.
Heisman.
He's the SEC leader in the clubhouse in Heisman odds, so he's all the way up to 3, which is crazy.
You know, I'm gonna be so angry. Not really, because it means he's played really well. But if I lose this daggum bet about a first round draft pick being a quarterback because Ty Simpson is
And it's
number 1
Ty
overall,
Simpson. Love it,
I mean,
love
it is
it.
so early, viewers, so early, but that probably will be the only thing that makes me chuckle about losing that.
Oh, that would be so funny. My SEC quarterback bet just totally comes true, and it's, like, not any of the people I talked about.
Yeah,
Some random guys.
that'll be such a bad beat for me.
Knew it all along. That would be an
Yeah,
electric bad beat for you. It's like my 11th ranked quarterback preseason comes in and goes number 1, and then
yeah.
some guy we've never heard of next year goes number 1, and you're just like, "What's happening?"
What is
Love
going
that.
on here? Yeah.
Love that. Alright, folks. That's
Who's,
it. That's tight
real
32
quick,
minutes.
who was we stopped at 3, who's the leader, like, overall?
Oh, well, kind of odd. So, number 2 right now is an old SEC guy, Carson Beck, who has been playing well at Miami, and we knew he was good. He had a bad year at Georgia. And then number 1's that Dante Moore guy at Oregon,
Yeah,
and he's good, and he's fun to watch, but, like, that he feels almost like a system guy for me. That Oregon system's so good. Um,
he's just gonna put up monster numbers.
and I don't he's not even on here. Like, where's the starter at Southern Cal? That guy's been incredible. He's not even on here. So that could be another one where if
Where are
you
the
wanna
running backs? Where are the running backs, man?
there literally no running backs. The only non-quarterback is,
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah Smith, who's tied with Ty Simpson at 3, the Ohio State receiver. But, like, Jaden
Hey,
Maeva for USC has been so good, and he's nowhere to be found.
hey,
Oh, I
real
guess
quick,
Jeremiah Love's tied at number 9. He's the only running back on here.
yeah, there's
He's
one.
good.
We're 33 minutes. You wanna take a minute just to step outside of the SEC and talk about this Florida State Miami game at all?
Which game?
Florida State Miami.
Oh, yeah, what are you thinking there?
I mean, I think Miami is probably the better team, but nothing like a wake up call like Florida State got last Friday. Plus, you get the extra day to prepare, and you're at home.
Yeah,
I uh, I wouldn't be shocked if the Seminoles pulled this off.
I like that. I'm
Also,
trying to
wouldn't
look
be
at
shocked if I wouldn't be shocked if Carson Beck has a pretty good night. It looked like Virginia kind of found some holes in that defense, and so I just think it's going to be an interesting game. I'm gonna watch Mississippi State and A&M simply because of the style of the game. You know me, I like to watch
I
offensive
can't wait
line
for that
play and
game.
running
Yeah.
backs, but I will be probably trying to time it up to flip back and forth to keep my eye on that Miami Florida State game. A lot of hate. It's good to see that game matter again.
Yeah. Yeah, that is fun. I didn't realize. So Miami is obviously they're number 3 in the country, and Florida State's 18. They just had that weird loss to Virginia. Yeah, that should be a good game. And you know what else? I realized I was scrolling through the games just to see if there were any other exciting non-SEC games. The
Mhm.
battle of the 2 dumb coaches, UNC versus Clemson, Belichick versus Dabo. My gosh, they've both been absolutely terrible so far this year, so that'll be fun to watch them play each other.
Dabo needs to get this one, buddy. Dabo needs to get this one.
Oh, they lose this one. I mean, we're talking about breaking news, Dabo Swinney fired from Clemson. 'Cause you know they're watching Oklahoma thinking, "We could bring Venables back." I mean, how
Yeah.
could you not?
Would Venables leave? Venables spent a long time at Oklahoma under Big Game Bob,
He spent a ton of time at Clemson with Dabo. I mean, he was at Clemson with Dabo forever.
but
Won
he
2
got
national
hired away from
championships
Big
for
Game
him.
Bob. Like, I even
Yeah,
think Venables might have coached for a year or so under, oh, what's that terrible coach that's at USC now that is just a joke?
Lane oh, not,
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley. You hate
Yeah,
Lincoln
yeah, I
Riley.
think he might have even been a D coordinator for a second under no, he wouldn't have been. Maybe he was, I don't remember, but Venables was like Big Game Bob's man.
Yeah, so
And
Venables
he
was at
coached
Oklahoma.
yeah, and I
Yeah,
think he was a D coordinator under, Bill Snyder at one point in time at Kansas State.
yeah. He was at Oklahoma for a while, for 12 years, and then he was at Clemson for 10 years.
I
Now
wouldn't
he's
leave
back at
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
I personally would not leave Oklahoma to go.
It's so much easier to win at Clemson, though, and
You think
yeah,
so? I don't know, man.
100%.
Oklahoma has way better tradition.
Yeah, but the
I think they're
schedule's
willing to
so
give
much
you more
harder.
resources than Clemson.
Alright, let's keep it tight. Let's not spend
That's right.
17
We
more
could
minutes
argue about this for
arguing
a
about
while.
this
36,
into a
37 minutes.
43-minute episode. Love
Yeah.
it.
We did really well, and here the wheels are coming off.
I know the train's coming off the tracks. We'll save that for our Friday's Rockies lunch. We'll argue about
That's right. We'll argue
Oklahoma
about
versus
that after
Clemson. What's the
Rockies.
better job? Alright, listeners, until next time, big SEC guys are out.
Yes, sir. Roll Tide.